everyone, it's Max and welcome to a new week's reading vlog. Ignore the books over here. Sneak peek, these are some of the books I was able to read last week. This is a sneak peek, you would have seen it, but it's feeling a little weird starting a new reading vlog where I've already vlogged for an entire week and I haven't posted a video yet. It's just been, last week was a little too chaotic because all the days that I was off from work, I was in Salt Lake City and I just didn't have good enough internet where I've been staying because I've been house sitting to upload. Today, though, I'm hoping to change that. I wasn't even able to edit videos because when I tried, like, they were too long to, like, save. And there was an option to, like, immediately post to YouTube, but my internet is terrible where I am, like, really bad. And, like, I usually have to turn the internet off to be able to load anything. It has to be through cellular. So I was like, okay, it's not gonna work. So today is one of my 3 days off this week, and I am trying to plan to edit and upload 3 videos. 1 to upload and go out today, and 2 to schedule. But let's get into my TBR for this week. Now, please go check out my August TBR. I am participating in the Orilium Academy, which is Book Roast's follow-up to her magical readathon that she did, but now has made it her own. It's phenomenal. I am planning on reading a lot of books, like 1 a day at least, plus some more. So let's just get into it. First book I want to read is, read a book with an orange cover. I'm going with Pandora's Jar by Natalie Haynes. This is orange, this is orange. It's not fully orange, but that's like the most amount of orange I've had on a cover in a while. This is a retelling, obviously, of Pandora, who opened the jar to release bad things into the world. Natalie Haynes is one of the only authors that I've read that I think does a really good job showing the women of this time period, not as like villains. Like 1,000 Ships, I loved by her. She's like one of the only authors that has done Helen of Troy justice in my mind. So I am really excited to pick this up. Also, I just heard, like, it was recently announced, or the cover was just announced or something, that she is writing a Medusa retelling that's coming. I guess it must have been announced before now because it's coming out literally in September. But, you know, I didn't hear about it till literally today. So really excited. If I really like this one, I will absolutely be picking that up. And I think she will quickly become my favorite author of Greek mythology that has to do with women. And women, morally gray women, who have been shown as like villains throughout history. Really excited to pick this up. I will be reading it today. Also, I already can't remember if I said I'm planning on reading, yeah, each book a day. This is each book of this. Each book I will be reading in 1 day. So, you know, wish me luck. The next book is to read a book you don't know much about, and I'm going with The Cabinet by Eun-Soo Kim. This, I don't really know what it's about. Sorry, my alarms are about to go off for watering, but I'll just get to them in a minute. But I don't actually know much about this, and I don't want to know. It just feels like it's gonna be like a bizarre read that is like crazy but fun, and I am excited. It's short, it's 299 pages. In my TBR, this was going to be to read a book under 300 pages, but then I quickly realized I am listening to audiobooks so much more and so much faster than I usually am, and I only had 2 audiobooks on my whole TBR, so I had to change some stuff around to get some more audiobooks on there because I'm doing long drives, and because one of my jobs, I just started a new job and I am in 2 places. One of them is an hour-and-a-half minimum away from the town that I live in, each way. So it's like, that's a lot of listening time. And also I am trying to, at least on my days off now, walk 6 miles. So again, that's a lot of listening time. And I was like, what am I doing not putting more than 2 audiobooks on this TBR? So I did rearrange my TBR to have some really short audiobooks, which I will be getting to soon. But The Cabinet is for a book that I don't know much about. It's very short. Now, I want to finish The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker, which is to read a book with bones on the cover or in the title. It's definitely in the title, and the ship is supposed to, like, if you read the book, you know that the ship is made out of bone, but it doesn't really look like bone on the cover. So take from that what you will. I am almost 75% of the way through it. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a little long. The audiobook is good. The narrator is really phenomenal with his voices, but I might have benefited a little bit more from reading it physically. I don't know why. I think I'm having a hard time like totally keeping up with the audiobook because like, you know, sometimes I start daydreaming during an audiobook and like most of the time I could snap back and not have a problem, but I think I missed a key part to this audiobook by doing that where I'm like, why are they on this island besides like this one thing that they set out to do and did? They're like still there and like planning for something and I'm like, what did I miss? But I am excited to see what happens. And I don't know quite yet if I'm going to continue the series. It's a trilogy. I think it'll definitely depend on the last 25% of this audiobook because like right now, I don't know. I guess I could describe what this book is about. This is a world where there used to be dragons that went extinct and these dragons' bones build their ships. And this one ship is like kind of a condemned ship where everyone on there is like condemned to death basically because of stuff. They haven't really described that well, but it has to do with like their mythology and their beliefs. And they found out that one of the dragons might still be alive and they are trying to find it. In theory, they're saying to keep it alive so that because like if one of the countries that uses bone ships that are at war gets it, then it'll be like a turning point and they want to, this rebel group wants to stop the war. But I think they want to actually kill it but not use the bones. I'm confused. See, I've like missed a couple key parts that I'm confused on what's happening. But you know, whatever. I'm sure I'll find out eventually, but it's good, so. Okay, the next book is to read a book with a raven on the cover or in the title, and I'm going with The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. This is the cover. There is a raven very prominently right here. Honestly, again, I don't know much about this, but it's like there's someone that is like, I think a thief, but has been like caught, but then someone hires him to do some stuff like adventure, and I think he brings together like a group, something like that. I have the whole trilogy. I got the second one used because I want to read it in September, and I got the third one on Nook. And I'm really hoping to enjoy this because she also has a trilogy all about dragons. So if I really like this trilogy, I will pick up that one. And I think it has promise. I don't know. I feel like some of the most underrated series where I haven't heard of it like anywhere are the best ones. Like the Arter Ben trilogy and like other series that I have absolutely adored, like people aren't reading and I'm like, why not? So this one. Then I want to pick up the book that is to match your country flag colors. Red and white, there is no blue, but you know, red and white are two of our colors. So Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. Again, I think this is like a competition with magic users. I'm not really sure. I think this is also, yeah, this is so much shorter than I was thinking it was. I was thinking it was like 500 pages. It's only 400. So I could actually definitely finish this in a day. When I work in the park, it is so slow. Like not many people come in because we're not actually able to see that many like cases. It is simply like tests or like seeing for like injuries. There's no like, we can't give IVs, we can't do like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we don't do. So it's generally very slow. And like the last time I was there, I was able to start and finish Finley Donovan is Killing It. So I have faith that I can finish this one as well. Then I want to also finish the book that I started last week for read a book with flag colors, and this is going to swap out for a different book. But then there was a betrayal. And so I made it for the book with the betrayal because I guessed on the book that I put my TBR that it would have a betrayal, and I have no idea if it's going to, but this one did, and that is Dragons of Autumn Twilight by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. This is based on their Dungeons and Dragons campaign. I don't know if this is like in the future, past what happened in the Dungeons & Dragons campaign because they all know each other already, or if this is the start of the Dungeons & Dragons campaign just adapted. Not sure. I'm enjoying it. I have 50 pages left. I was just like, so one of Book Roast's rules, like that she does for herself, is you can start the books in any order in like the group, but you have to finish them in order. So even though I have 50 pages left and I haven't read Spellslinger, as long as I finish Spellslinger first, they all count and it's all good. So somewhere in here, I also want to finish Guinevere by R.A. Salvatore, which is for read a one-word title. This is a Guinevere Driz Panther companion, his origin story. So kind of excited about that. And then just in here, I'll also talk about Perfect State by Brandon Sanderson. It is a 2-hour audiobook, and this is to read a book under 300 pages. The next book I want to read is to read reread a favorite. This will finish out the one category that I need to get all 3 in, which is conjuration, because I want to be a necromancer. And I'm going to reread The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. I also borrowed this on Libby because this day I will be working in the nearby town, not the park. And like, while there might be time to like hang out and like use your phone, it is not acceptable to like be reading a physical book. So as long as I have the ebook of this, it's fine. But so yeah, this is about a island, I think, if I remember correctly, that horses come out of the water every year to do this race, and they are like brutal and bloodthirsty. And whoever wins this race gets like a bunch of money. 2 people go into it and decide to team up. One guy has a water horse for years, but someone else owns it. He's just the racer and he wants to buy his horse. The other girl, the girl, is racing her regular pony in this to get money because I think her parents died, if I remember correctly. This is, hot take, my favorite Maggie Stiefvater. Don't at me. Raven Cycle was good. I feel like they got progressively worse. And then what else has she written? Oh, I didn't like The Dream Thieves. I DNF'd it. She wrote that magical realism book, something about saints, all the Crooked Saints. Didn't like that. Like, so this is my favorite, gonna be honest. Maggie Stiefvater isn't really it for me, but this one I did enjoy. So rereading this. Okay. Then to finish out another category, to read a book with a C setting, I will be reading Namesake by Adrienne Young, the sequel to Fable. This is about a girl who had a pirate father who then like sent her away or banished her until she could like prove herself, and so it sets off the whole duology. I hope I remember enough about Fable to really read this. I read Fable as an ARC 2 Augusts ago, because I read it for the Magical Readathon when I was first starting my channel. I think it was, I started my channel with a 24-hour readathon, and it was like one of the first books that I read. So yeah, I might try to find a summary of it real quick, but if not, hopefully I'll be able to just catch up. This stack is getting huge. Here we go. Is that gonna help? Yeah, that helps a little bit. And then to read a cozy book, I am picking up Gallant by V.E. Schwab. It's kind of like a haunted house tale. I think that's cozy. I'm also going to be staying in the park for this. If I am able to stay 3 consecutive days, like, or work 3 consecutive days, I can stay there at their camper. And now it's been scheduled out. I will be working 3 consecutive days at least. And so, yes, I think I'll be in the camper all cozy on my couch, or, you know, like just hanging out and reading this haunted house tale. I'm excited for this, gonna be honest. Now, Goodreads says I think it's shorter than, oh my gosh, this is also so much shorter than I thought it was. It looks long. It's like not even, I thought this was also like, I don't know why I kept thinking these books were so much longer than they are. It's only, with acknowledgements, it's 334 pages. Without acknowledgements. That's so short. I did not realize this, but now I'm even more excited and will definitely be able to read it one day. No biggie. And then the last book I'm going to be talking about is a book that I'm going to be reading throughout the week with my best friend. We are buddy reading it, and this is to read a book on someone else's TBR. I know it's on her August TBR because we're buddy reading it, and that's what I'm gonna have to do. And that is Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. I really like Trisha Levenseller's books. The Shadow Between Us, loved it. Daughter of the Pirate King, I didn't like as much, but if I enjoy this one, I think it'll be like, you know, we'll be even for like how many books I've liked by her versus how many books I haven't really loved. And then we'll go from there. This has to do with, I think she's a blacksmith and she makes a magical sword, or she's hired to make one or something. It's super short. We're buddy reading. I think we're gonna be reading like 4 chapters a day because it's 24 chapters, so that'll be like 6 days. Excited to read this with her. We buddy read a book, I think it was actually, again, like 2 years ago. No, it was last year. I was vlogging last year. Yeah, it was last July, and we had a good time with it. Really excited, but that's my huge TBR this week. That is so many books. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 12 books. One of them, I only have 50 pages left. And I think I also want to read Vox Machina Origins Volume 2 once I read, what is it? Book under 300 pages or something, once I finish Perfect State. Is that what it is? Sorry, let me check. I keep forgetting, you know, some of these I keep forgetting. Oh, yeah. So this is actually so I'm switching Vox Machina Origins 2 and Mighty Nine Witcher because read it in 1 or 2 sittings. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to with Vox Machina Origins because they're pretty long and very dialogue heavy. So I just wanted to change it. Mighty Nine, The Witcher is 22 pages. So I'll be able to finish that in 1 or 2 sittings. So this is going to go towards pick a prompt from last semester, which I chose quick read. And yeah, that's after read a book under 300 pages. So I might be able to, you know, also read it a couple days here and there. If not, then I will just read it when I'm at that other job that I need to, like, you know, can't be on my book or read a book or whatever. But yeah, she's hefty. There are so many books on this, but I think I can do it, especially because 2 of these books were shorter than I expected. One of them is 50 pages. 2 of them are barely over 300 pages. I think it's gonna be good. I think I can do it. And God, one of them's under 300 pages. 2 of them are under 300 pages. I think this is gonna be okay, and I'm feeling good about this. I'll talk to you all later. Good morning. It's, gosh, what time is it? It's Tuesday. I just got back to the cabin. I stayed at my mom's last night. We stayed up really late, just like hanging out. I had dress rehearsal for a play I'm in tonight, so that went well. I did not read Pandora's Jar. I got like 50 pages through it, and I'm realizing it is definitely nonfiction. Like, it is citing sources of different women that were like wronged in mythology, like that are seen as the villains but like aren't. And she's explaining like how they aren't villains. So like I've been through Pandora and Jocasta from Oedipus Rex, and then we're about to go on to Helen of Troy, and I think Medusa's in this too. So whoa. So yeah, it's definitely nonfiction, so I decided to keep it for nonfiction November. And to read a book with an orange cover, I went with Harrow County Volume 2. I read the first volume a while ago, I think in 2020 at some point, maybe last year at some point, I can't really remember. I also I have a vague recollection of what it was about, but again, there's not much there. I actually went into it thinking it was a different graphic novel that I think I read like the day after or something. And so I couldn't remember a whole lot. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Like, it was fine. But even the plot was a little I don't know. It was just kind of a little it wasn't very good. So 3 out of 5 stars. I did not pick up any of Blade of Secrets. We're supposed to be reading 5 chapters of this a day. So I might have to read 10 chapters, which I just found out is 140 pages. It's a lot. Like, that's a lot of pages to get through today because I'm trying to read this as well as The Cabinet by Eun-Soo Kim. So, you know, I've got a bit to do. I do have to go to a nearby town, which is like 30 minutes away on a good day. And then I'm meeting my friend for lunch in that town, but she only has like an hour-long like lunch for work, so it's not gonna be that long. And then I'm gonna come back and read these. I'm going to get ready now and film a couple of videos because I really want to do it. The people who I'm house sitting for are coming home today, so I have to do it now or else it's not gonna happen. So I'm going to get ready. It's gonna be the makeup, the eye makeup basically that I'm wearing tonight, so that it's done. And I'm going to something in Jackson that I would want to like look nice for. So I'm going to eat breakfast first, finish watering all these plants, and then I am going to film. And I'm sorry about this. I'm gonna have to figure this out because it is sun through the slats of that. So that I'm going to have to figure out because I cannot film with this. So anyways, but I'll talk to you once I've made some progress. I will be finishing the bone chips. I only have like 30 actual minutes. So whether that's on the way there, on the way back, whatever, I will be finishing it today. So that's exciting. But anyways, I'll talk to you all later. Hey guys, so I just filmed my July wrap up. I am making good time. It's almost 9:50. I am doing the laundry for the bed and stuff because it's my last day here. So the wash is soon to go off, and then I will do the mid-year book freakout tag and then be on my way. But my best friend also didn't start Blade of Secrets yesterday, so we are starting today. So that worked out really, really well that I don't have to worry about that, and I just have to read 5 chapters, which I'm going to assume is about 70 pages because 10 chapters was 140. So it's 140 pages, thank goodness. It's half of that, and that I feel like is more doable. So 299 pages of The Cabinet plus around 70 pages. So we'll say it's going to be today a 369 page day, which is, you know, a good number. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better about that instead of it being another 70 pages on top of that, because I feel like that was a lot and I was a little nervous, but now I'm feeling good. So yeah, really excited about that. The first, I'm definitely going to try to do Blade of Secrets first, but I just don't have that much time. I do still have to eat breakfast. I'm sure I have to reheat it by now, but I just like don't want to yet. So I'm going to, in the last few minutes before like the laundry's done, is compile my answers to mid-year freakout book tag. So yeah, I will now check in once I've made progress in one of the 2 books. But just letting you know that I do not have to read 140 pages anymore. Thank goodness. Good morning, everyone. It's 9:30 on Wednesday. I didn't update you much yesterday. I was just busy, and then I got home pretty late and I hadn't finished The Cabinet yet, but I have. So yesterday I was able to finish 3 books. The first one was The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. I enjoyed it, but there's just, I don't know, it was missing something. I don't know what it was missing, but I just like, I didn't love it. I feel like it was too long, and like, I was kind of like, what's the main plot here? Because I know it was to find the bone, like this dragon, but like, they didn't have any trouble finding it, and I kind of expected them to be like looking for longer and not just happening upon it like exactly where they wanted it to be. And so the main conflict was like fighting with other ships, but like I wanted a little bit more conflict. They kept talking about how dangerous the ocean is, like with all the creatures, but they don't fight anything. And I'm like, well then fight some creatures, like show us the dangers of the ocean, don't just tell us. And so it was okay. I'm giving it like a 3.75 out of 5 stars. Then I finished Guinevere for the read a book with the 1-word title. It's just an origin story of Guinevere. I wish it was told from Guinevere's point of view. This is art by R.A. Salvatore, and Guinevere is the panther companion to Drizzt in the main Drizzt series. And I'm just kind of like, I wish it was from her point of view, because like, It should have been. She knew, like, you know, it would have been interesting, but it just wasn't. It was from some random person's point of view. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. And then I read The Cabinet by Unsu Kim. And the first half, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting, like it kind of reminded me of the Magnus Archives, where like people go and tell this person about like these weird things that are happening. And what this is about is Cabinet 13 is like a position within, I'm not gonna answer it, so within the this business, and they believe that humans are evolving, and people who like are able to do certain things are actually not humans. They are the new evolved species. The second half took quite a turn. It was crazy. There was so much fat phobia, and then there was torture scenes, and like it was just like, what? And so I ended up, like, the first half was a 4 out of 5 stars, the second half was a 1 out of 5 stars, so it was a 2.5 out of 5 stars average. Like, it was crazy. I don't know. I just don't even know what to say. And then I have also made progress today in Blade of Secrets. I'm now 140 pages into it. I am not enjoying it very much. Our main character is so, I just don't get it. She's so naive. She makes magical weapons, and someone hired her to make a magic blade, and she made it, and then like, it's like can hurt people from afar, and like it also takes in people's secrets who uses it, and she hears this person's secrets being like, now I can control everything, and she's like, what? No! And I'm like, what do you think these blades are being used for, girl? Because she's like, I don't want pain, I don't want suffering, I don't want war. And I'm like, you make magic weapons, like what do you think they're being used for? And she's so hard to read from. It's like she can't function as a human being with people other than her sister. She can't function. And I'm like, you are close enough to being an adult, and like you're an orphan, like, and a business owner, like you need to be better at this. Like, it's like every decision she made in her life was the wrong one. Like, I'm just like, what are you doing? And it's fine. The plot is very average, and it's just like a very like cut and dry fantasy that I've read before. And I remember Trisha Levenseller also wrote Warrior of the Wild, which I loved. Like, I've loved 2 of her books, thought 2 of her books were very average, and now this one is definitely shaping up to be my least favorite book by her. I just don't like reading from points of views where the character has such crippling social anxiety that they can't function. And she's just like so obtuse when it comes to her sister. Like, the book should be from her sister's point of view. Her sister should be the main character, because she, like, our main character is the perfect, like, controlling, suffocating sister that, like, our main character would, like, love and, like, you know, want to protect, but then also be, like, wants to figure out who she is without her sister. I'm like, you chose the wrong person for our main character, Trisha Levenseller, because this is brutal. And my best friend isn't really enjoying it that much either, but thankfully we're just doing a certain amount of pages a day or a certain amount of chapters because it makes it more manageable. For the rest of the day, I am reading Spellslinger. I was going to read Ninth Reign, but this one is shorter, and I haven't been able to read a whole lot the last 3 days because of my play. And so this is 400 pages. There is a better chance that I'm going to be able to read this than Ninth Reign. So Ninth Reign will be tomorrow. Now I'm going to edit at least one more video that I want to upload today, and I'll talk to you all later. Hey guys, it's 1. I just got back from a hike. I started and finished Perfect State by Brandon Sanderson, which was to read a book under 300 pages. It was like 87, but this is about it's Earth, but if everyone was basically living in their own simulation that made them the main character. But there are times that the actual people can like meet, and one of those is so that they can couple, and then from that coupling, the people who control the simulations like get their genes and make a baby to keep the population going. And our main character is from like a fantasy setting, like he has united this world and killed dragons and everything, which like, I mean, that's like the dream. Can we talk about that? I'm like, I wish that was my life. And he's been like chosen to like couple with someone, but his arch nemesis is like in this world too, trying to kill him. I really liked it. Brandon Sanderson does a great job with his short fiction. I've really loved a lot of his short fiction. I know one of them had a sequel. Now I can't remember what that was called, and I didn't love the sequel. But other than that, he's like really short fiction that aren't connected to like his other books and series. I really like his ideas. The stuff that's connected to his series haven't always been my favorite, but like some of his stuff that aren't connected, I really enjoy. So 5 out of 5 stars for that. I have not started Spellslinger. I did edit my August TBR, but when I tried to like save it or render it, it like didn't work, and now it's saying like the file's corrupted, and I'm like so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. I'm like borderline like so furious I could scream. So I'm gonna go to my mom's house, and I just hope that somewhere it's saved and I can find it, because if I can't, I'm going to be just like so sad, because it took me an hour to edit, and I'm just gonna have to redo it all, and I want to do it today, so I do have to leave my dad's house to go to my mom's house to do that, because the internet is not good enough to do anything here. And obviously I tried to just render it to like save, not even just upload on YouTube, and it like crashed and freaked out, and I'm just so annoyed at it. I just like, it drives me crazy. So we'll see how it goes. My battery is also flashing, so I'm gonna have to go charge this, but that's all I've got for you right now, and I'll talk to you later. Hi everyone, it's Tuesday. Like next Tuesday. I can't even remember when I last updated. A couple things happened where I just like didn't have my SD card on me for a couple days, and then I left it at my house when I went and stayed in the park for 3 days. So here I am. I read a lot though, like a lot. So we're just gonna kind of dive into all the books I've read since I last updated you. The first one that I know of is, so I had started Spellslinger when I talked to you. I can't remember if we had, like if I updated you at all since I started it, but there was a betrayal. So I made that betrayal instead because it's a bigger betrayal than Dragons of Autumn Twilight. So when it happened, I stopped reading, finished Dragons of Autumn Twilight, and then started again. And so Dragons of Autumn Twilight is for a book with the colors of your flag, because it does have red, white, and blue. So it worked out better. I gave it a 3.25 out of 5 stars. I am interested enough to continue the series. I just didn't really understand what the end goal was, like what was happening. It almost felt like I needed to have seen the campaign, like if this was like a spin-off, you know, thing, to like fully get it. But I am interested. It's not high on my priority list, and honestly I might have to reread it if I decide to continue on the series, and it probably wouldn't happen until I finish like the Drizzt Do'Urden series. One big D&D book series at a time. So, and then I read Spellslinger, which I actually really liked. I really enjoyed it. I liked it more than I thought in many ways, but there were a couple things that I didn't love. The biggest one being the unnecessary sexism. Because of course, it's a fantasy series. You gotta have a little sprinkle of sexism in there, you know? Like, it's not as bad as others, but it's still like the girls had to be like, they look down on us because we're women, and I'm just like, they're like, they don't want to teach us, but I'm one of the most powerful witches or magic users, so they would have to, I mean, it would be obvious that it was a sexism thing. I'm like, really? Like, we had to do sexism in this? We had to? It literally didn't do anything for the plot, but we just had to have a couple mentions of the sexism. Like, can we just not? Can it be like women and men are taught equally and everything's fine? No, of course not. So I gave it like a 3.75, 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I finished was The Scorpio Races, and by Maggie Stiefvater, and this was to reread a favorite. I did not enjoy it as much as last time, but I did still enjoy it, so I give it like a 3.5, 3.75 out of 5 stars. Then I finished to read a book with a gilded cover, foiled cover, and that was Wicked Beauty by Katie Robert. This is my least favorite of the Dark Olympus series. I think it's because I didn't like Achilles. This is a Helen, Achilles, and Patroclus retelling, and I just didn't like Achilles. And I didn't get like the chemistry. I didn't think there was much chemistry between him and Helen. Patroclus had chemistry with both, but not him and Helen. And so I just didn't really get into it. So I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, 3.5. The sex scenes were plentiful. There were so many, but you know, it was a good time. Then for choose a prompt from last semester's, I did quick read, and I did Vox Machina Origins Volume 2. I did enjoy it more than the first one. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I finished the buddy read that I had with my best friend, where we read Blade of Secrets, and neither of us liked it. Like, this was bad. Our main character was so stupid, and it literally felt like it took place in 3 days, and it was supposed to span like a month and more. And I was like literally in one chapter, from one chapter to the next, she was like, we've been on the road for a month. I was like, what? No, you haven't. Like, it literally, I think in some ways it was too short, but also like I didn't like it, so it could not be longer. But like, it was just bad. Our main character, I just didn't like her. Her sister should have been the main character, and there shouldn't be a sequel. There should not be a sequel. Like, this is it. I'm not continuing. Screw that. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. And then for read a book with a raven on the cover, I went with Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. I enjoyed this. I'm definitely continuing on I'm definitely continuing on with the series, but I just like, there were some time jumps, and so I was like, what's happening? What are they trying to find? Like, but stuff happened at the end that I'm definitely continuing on in the series, thankfully, because I own the second book in like physical and the third book on ebook, so thankfully I'm continuing. But I also just want to love this series so much because she's got a dragon trilogy, and I really want to read the dragon trilogy. But if I don't like this trilogy, then, you know, I might not pick it up. So yeah, I gave this like a 3.75, 4 out of 5 stars. And then the last book was to read a cozy read, and I went with Gallant by V.E. Schwab. And this is about a girl who's invited back to like her ancestral home after her mother, before she like left her at an orphanage, warned her not to go back. It was good. I'm liking V.E. Schwab is like taking like a new route with her writing. So I liked this and Addie LaRue a lot more than her other books. So I'm pretty happy about it, but it still was like a little easy peasy, but it was a standalone. So like, easy peasy's good. And this was also like a younger read. Like, I'm surprised she went with V.E. Schwab instead of Victoria Schwab, unless she's trying to get rid of Victoria Schwab. Because what is recommended, like saying that's also by her, is the This Savage Song duology, which is a Victoria Schwab duology. But she might be trying to get rid of that name for all I know. So yeah, I gave this like a 3.25, 3.5 out of 5 stars. But that's it. Oh no, I also read more since then. Oh man, what did I read? What else have I read? Oh my gosh, I read so much. Okay, so I read Harrow County Volume 2, which I gave a 3 out of 5 stars, and that went towards a book with an orange cover. Then I finished The Bone Ships, which I gave like a 3.75, 4 out of 5 stars, and that went for a book with bones on the cover or in the title. That one has both. Then I read Guinevere by R.A. Salvatore, which was to read a book with a one-word title. I wish it was from Guinevere's point of view, so I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Cabinet, which went towards a book that I know nothing about, and the first half, it was good. The second half had a lot of torture scenes, and it took a real turn, and I did not like it, and it averaged out at like a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Perfect State by Brandon Sanderson, which was for read a book under 300 pages. I loved it. I loved the idea. I wanted it to be longer, honestly. Like, I want like a whole series with this main character before the point of this short story. 5 out of 5 stars. And then everything else that I talked about. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so sorry about that big gap, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.